Hello and welcome to another series of conversations from the singing community of choirs. And as we approach our Just Sing workshops at the end of the month, we thought it would be good to chat to a few parents of children in the choirs and also some members. And today I'm pleased to be joined by Celeste Clark, whose daughter is in our choir. So hi Celeste, good to see you.
Hello, yeah, thank you for asking me.
That's a pleasure. Well, I thought I'd first of all ask you about the involvement of music with your children. Your two children have been involved in music in various ways. So how has that happened over the last few years?
I think from early on, I noticed that my son definitely had a kind of natural musical ear and he could sing back a tune from quite a young age. So I always had that hope that he would get involved in music. And he has sung in the past, and then he now plays the guitar and the drums. And I think that involvement in the choir definitely helped just that initial sense of confidence to perform in front of other people. So that's been really helpful to him. And also just that sense of pride of performing in front of others and a sense of kind of professionalism, which I think are important life skills going forward. And for my daughter, she was a little bit later in that sort of sense of having a musical ear. So I think it's interesting that, you know, two children have definitely had different experiences, but my daughter's definitely worked at that. And again, you know, a confidence thing and that confidence of performing in front of other people and going to choir has helped her to make friends and, you know, be a bit more outgoing, which has been brilliant. And also, we've always listened to a wide range of music at home. So, you know, one day we could be listening to some rock music or something like that. And then the next day it could be something like some John Williams music from the movies. So just a real range of music in our house, really, and all sorts of sounds going on.
That sounds really great. So specifically, you mentioned about Lois being part of the choir. Would you say that developing her ear has been the most important thing that she's gained from being part of SCC?
It's an important thing. I think for her, just going and meeting people's been a massive part of it. And especially when they went on the weekend, she absolutely loved every second. She couldn't wait for the next one. In fact, she's still waiting for it, unfortunately, but she can't wait to go away again. And also because she plays the flute, I think that idea of listening back to tunes and she can work out a scale. And I think that's definitely been helped by the the musical skills that you teach them at choir. So that's been brilliant.
Yes. Yeah, of course, those musical skills you can then apply to almost anything musical.
Definitely.
So music education generally, I know that as a teacher, I'm sure you agree that music education is really important for all children. And do you think singing has a specific part to play in that, would you say?
Yeah, I think it's a shame that children don't do more singing at school. I think, you know, the obvious thing is that you don't need any specialist equipment to be able to do it. Anybody can have a go, can't they? So I think that's brilliant. I think there's a lot in schools at the moment talking about well-being, and I think music can have a massive impact on that. So, for example, you could put on a really lively piece of music and just dance around if you need a bit of an uplift, or I think there's a lot to be said for just putting on a really calming piece of music and listening to that. So I think it can have a massive impact on people's well-being and mood. So yeah, I think that's really important. Also, I think generally subjects, music can kind of cross over into all sorts of different subjects. I remember my daughter learnt a song about the solar system when she was at nursery, so she was only about 3, and she still remembers it now. Which I find quite interesting that has definitely stuck in her memory. And also, in fact, we were just talking earlier about some songs that they used to use at school to help them learn times tables. And they were words of the times tables set to popular tunes. So again, this idea that music can help with memory. And also other life skills, things like concentration, working together as a team, listening to each other, and that sense of perseverance to work together to get to a certain point. So yeah, really important in education.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's working both sides of the brain, isn't it, as well, which you can
Definitely.
obviously apply.
Yeah, and also I think it's important to have a range of those arts kind of subjects as well as the more academic subjects. I mean, I teach a more academic subject, but I think that balance in the curriculum is really important, that children get a chance to develop all of the different skills and talents that they have.
Yes. Indeed, absolutely. Now, I know that you're a singer yourself,
That's
and you've
right.
sung in choirs and in various contexts. So, how has being part of a choir helped you as an adult as you look back over the time that you've sung?
I think I've always been involved in choirs. I can't really think of a time when I was younger than about 7 when I haven't been involved in some kind of singing. So it's always been such a massive part of my life. And I think one of the big things for me is that it's quite calming as soon as I turn up at a rehearsal, and just sort of doing those breathing exercises, just that initial, it's almost like an instant sense of calm, which is lovely.
Yeah.
I love the sense of collective achievement with other people. Um, just a wide range of people from different backgrounds. That's always been amazing. And I love the fact that we can use singing to help other people. So most, I would say, of the concerts and choirs that I've been involved with over the years have done something to help charity, and especially Christmas. I love doing those sort of Christmas
Yeah.
concerts and carol singing. It's a big part of Christmas to me. And above all, I suppose it's fun. We even laugh at your jokes sometimes.
Yeah, not very often, but thanks for that.
Yeah, I can't think of a rehearsal where I haven't had fun, a laugh about something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's
It's got to be
important.
fun, hasn't it? Yeah, it
Yeah,
really has.
definitely.
So, what would you say that Lois enjoys most about being part of SCC? And of course, with these workshops coming up at the end of the month, trying to encourage other people to join. What sort of things would you say that she would take away as the things she enjoys the most?
I think, as I mentioned briefly earlier, I think the fact that she just meets lots of different people from different schools. She loves her school and she can't wait to go back. But
Yeah,
I think choir means that you're meeting people from a variety of schools that all have that shared interest. And I think that's a major thing for her. And that would probably be the number one thing that she would say. And I think the fact that there are a couple of her hobbies that haven't been able to carry on just for practical reasons throughout the pandemic. And, thankfully, choir, although it's been very different, she's loved that chance on a Wednesday to just, sit down, get involved in what's going on, whether it's been games or the musical side of things.
yes.
And I think that's been brilliant that you've been able to carry on all of those activities throughout the pandemic. And, thank you to you and your colleagues for all the work that you must have had to put into thinking of those ideas every week.
Well, it's certainly been a learning curve over the last 12 months, and I think for a lot of children, and I think Lois is definitely one of these. It's actually made some children more confident because it's given them a voice, and we've actually had more time to maybe talk to them individually and in front of each other, and maybe that's something we need to build in more when we go
Yeah, and I think
back.
things like the virtual concerts that you've done,
Yeah,
and the idea, I think Lois had a go at a solo the other week, and normally she wouldn't have done that. And I think being able to record herself for the concert and having a go at a solo just as a one-off, maybe because you haven't got those people around you, it's just a different environment to have a go at things that maybe otherwise would be far too far out of her comfort zone. So that's been
yeah.
brilliant.
Absolutely, absolutely. So finally, then, you mentioned about the pandemic, and obviously things have been very different over the last 12 months, and I think choirs have been harshly hit in many ways. Do you think there will be a resurgence of interest in people wanting to join choirs when we finally come out of this?
I'd like to think people have taken the time, haven't they? A lot of people are talking about how they've reflected on their lifestyle and the different things that they do. And, it might be a good chance for people to review the things they have been doing in the past and maybe to try something new. And this idea that music is for everybody, that it's relaxing. I think maybe that could be a really good opportunity for people to try singing as something perhaps they hadn't considered before. And, again, it's something for all ages, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think actually music has been a part of the pandemic to sort of help us get through it in many ways, like the singing on the doorsteps and in the streets. We've seen a lot of that over the last 12 months. So
Yeah,
feeling,
it hasn't. Also, I've been seeing a lot on social media about trying to get the arts back up and running. And if that's in people's minds, perhaps it might prompt them to have a go themselves.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And if you're watching this and you're thinking about maybe joining us on March the 31st, come and sing with us and come and find out what we're all about and learn about how we're moving back into our in-person rehearsals. So it's been great talking to you today, Celeste. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And thanks for
You're
brilliant
very welcome.
answers. And we look forward to another edition soon. So thanks for watching. So bye for now.
Thank you. Bye bye.